Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and joining us for this AIOps webcast, Headless NFA. My name is Octavie Sakut and I'm your CA Community Manager. We are joined by Amit Moanti and Charles Kellner from the Product Management team, and they will be presenting today's session. Please keep in mind that if you are using the WebEx audio to listen to this webcast, you should use the chat box right in the WebEx to ask any question you may have along the way. Please help keeping your line on mute to prevent background noises. At the end of the presentation, you will still have the opportunity to ask some live questions. With that said, I'm going to hand you over to Amit Moanti. Amit, whenever you are ready, you can take it away. Thank you.
Hey, Octave, thanks for the introduction. Uh, folks, I'm one of the product manager for the AIOps segment. Today, I'm going to talk about our headless NFA. And as Octave mentioned, I'm also joined by my colleague Charles Kellner, who will be online. And between the both of us, we'll try to answer any questions you might have as we go about presenting the headless NFA. And at the end of this presentation, of course, we'll open up the line for any live questions you might have. Now, let me get into this straight away. The way I've planned this session is, talk about headless NFA. I have a couple of screenshots, where I show what exactly we are delivering in terms of headless NFA. And then we'll jump into an actual demo environment where we'll see the changes that we have done, particularly with regards to being able to drill down from interfaces to be able to look at top hosts, top summary, kind of being able to drill down on those. Now, what's headless NFA and why this movement towards headless NFA? So one of the pillars of our investment in our AIOps NetOps product suite is the concept of unification. The concept of bringing before our user a seamless experience as we move from fault to performance to flow. And on that flow context, we have the headless NFA. Now, in the old world, for various administrative functions or various even operator level functions, when we have to go deep down into a flow in terms of when we have to analyze a particular interface, and we have to open up the NFA console on a separate window. Now with the headless NFA, we have those aspects of the NFA console directly within the NetOps portal. So we have the top interfaces, the top flow, the ability to drill down, the ability to look at interfaces by hosts, everything available from within the NetOps portal or the CAPC. And this inherently helps, in terms of reducing reaction time. There's no learning curve associated with, having to move from the CAPC, looking at the performance, to move into the NFA console to look at the flow. So all of that goes away. And what we have done exactly is, so that the users do not have to toggle across windows and tools, have to move from alarm to performance to flow. It's all seamless now. Now, the key use cases in this current headless NFA includes, ability to view routers with most flow. Again, top IP interfaces, top flow. You'll have a view of the hierarchical table, table view of the hierarchy hosts, interface by host. It will be more apparent when I do the actual system demo. So what you see next is actually a screenshot out of what I was talking about, the routers with most flow traffic, and then top IP interface utilization flow, out or in. Again, these are all screenshots out of the latest, iteration that we're going to have for the headless NFA. Again, you see here the top flows by volume, top flows, the hierarchy by host volume, and the hierarchy by protocol volume. So this particular chart is interesting because I now have the ability to actually select any particular interface or any particular flow by volume, and then that provides me a detailed view of the hosts by volume. I mean, from where these flow is coming from. Again, these are all static charts, but I'll skip these charts in interest of making this more interesting, and then move into the actual demo environment. Let me do that, because what I have going forward is all screenshots out of the actual environment. So in order to keep this a little bit interesting, let's go into the actual demo environment. Okay. So if you are able to see my screen, this is the actual demo environment that's connected to our labs. And what you see here is, the routers with most traffic flow, the top IP interface utilizations. And what I was hinting at in terms of the additional work that's been done is this particular piece, where you have a table hierarchy host by volume. So you choose any particular host, and what will happen is for that particular host. So in this case, I choose 80.80.80, right? And it gives me details of each interface the flow has gone through for this particular host. So for this particular host, I can see each and every interface where the flow has been, and then I can see which is the top interface accordingly. So I choose something else, and then this table again gets altered to showcase the new host and the corresponding volume. So in this case, I decided to choose 2.2.2.25, and then I see the the table interface for that particular host, all the interfaces, and then the corresponding flow volume associated. Now, on the same lines, we've also introduced the ability to look at protocol. So, for example, I choose this RDP protocol, and it'll give me all the interfaces where that particular protocol is found and the corresponding volume. So this is in terms of the enhancement that we have had for the headless NFA. Now, what's really helpful, particularly when we're trying to look at top utilizations. For example, in this case, say I want to look at the top interface utilization flow out for this particular interface. Then now I have the ability to drill down from here, and I click this. It will take me to the in context page for that particular interface. And when I go into the IP performance, it'll actually give me the details of that particular interface in terms of the stacked protocol trend, in terms of the top hosts, in terms of the top services. It's taking a little bit to load, but as this loads up, just give it a couple minutes there. Yeah, so you have it here. So what you see here is the stacked protocol trend out in terms of which are the protocols, and then same for the top hosts. Again, you have the ability to drill down on each of these to look at what are the details, to look at from your analysis as per your requirement. So for example, let me go down this particular thing. I want to go look at a particular host. In this case, 10.10.60.124. So I click on that, and it will now take me to the particular host. So I clicked, so I choose this particular host, and then it gives me the corresponding default host trend in terms of in and out. And I can choose any particular host, and it'll so we'll have the trend updated based on the host that we choose. So in this case, we have data on the host protocol in and host trend default in. Now on the same lines, if I go back to the IP performance, and I can look at the stack protocol trends or the flow conversations or the network, uh, you know, top services. So in this case, if I go into the details of the top services or top summary pie, so in this case, if I choose the TOS 13, so it's a very easy workflow to choose. So in this case, I had chosen the TOS 13, so it comes as the that's the one that is highlighted, and the corresponding TOS trend would show up. Now, the overall desire and the intent is to make this flow as easy and as seamless as possible for our users. Primary reason being the NetOps portal is the one-stop solution for your fault, performance, and flow. And keeping that in mind, our goal in this particular headless NFA was to showcase the ability that we have in terms of moving majority of the flow functions as we move forward into this portal. Now we have almost all of the operator views or sort of a second level view that would be required by users in order to drill down on particular protocols, in order to drill down on particular hosts, or take a look at top routers. So all those things are currently there, and as we move forward, we are also bringing in the admin capabilities, which are still under the works here. But that was sort of a very quick view of the headless NFA. And at this point, if we have any particular questions or anything in terms of how any feedback on these, so we're happy to take that. And Chaz, Octave, do we have any questions on the chat window yet, or?
Not yet, Amit.
Okay. In that case, I was thinking maybe we can open up this call for a quick, for around 5-10 minutes of questions or any particular comments that the participants might have, and then Chaz and I would be happy to sort of go down in detail or explain any particular questions or comments that the participants may have.
Okay, thank you, Amit, for this great presentation. If you have any question for Amit or Chaz, please use the chat box right in the WebEx. If you are on the phone line, please feel free to hit #6 to unmute your line and ask your question that way as well.
Okay, while we are waiting for any questions, so let's go down one more drill down value, view. So for example, we're looking at the top flows by volume, and so even in this case, we have the same in context opening up, and so it will show the same IP performance data. So in this case, you see the stack protocol trend out, trend in, and then the top hosts from and to, and then top conversations. I mean, from any of these charts, you can actually, it's all, the flow is all there. So depending on your use case, you can choose what you're looking at. You can go further down, explore. You can go into detail of any particular conversation pair. For example, if I click on this, it will take me to the details of that particular conversation pair. So once this comes up, and then we'll have the corresponding data show up for the corresponding conversation pairs. Anything that anything that we can help answer at this point, please feel free to speak up. Yeah. So in this case, I've chosen this particular conversation pair. So 128.153.174.220 and 240.23.173.176. So you see the corresponding conversation trend in terms of in and out. The out is the one that has data, so you see it there.
We have a question, Amit.
Yes, let's see that.
A question from Hans.
Yeah.
With which CAPC version will these reports be available, and when will this version be available?
Yeah, so I mean, so the version that this is all, these changes are done is for the 3.7, and 3.7 is actually, I mean, we are about to, we are going live this quarter in terms of the general availability. So, I mean, I cannot speak on exact date terms, but we're almost there.
Mm-hmm. So for those on the phone line, you can unmute your line by hitting #6.
Yeah, and in case there are questions after this webcast, or you are wanting to review the webcast and then you have questions come up, then please feel free to post it on the communities, or you could actually reach out to me as well, or Chad, and we are more than happy to assist you with any details that you might require.
Okay. So, it looks like your presentation and your demo they were pretty clear. So we have only one question. And as you say, if any question pop up later, you can still answer them, ask them on the community. The session has been recorded and will be posted in the community tomorrow. So feel free to reach out if. So another question from Hans.
Yeah, so are the administration tasks possible with CAPC, like deleting devices, disabling interfaces? So we are, that's the piece that I referred to. I mean, the admin capabilities, we are in the process of moving them into the CAPC, but that's not there at the moment. But one thing we'd like to mention at this stage is, with the next NFA release that's coming up, we have actually uh, we have opened up APIs through which it's possible to add, disable, delete interfaces, either at a single level or at a bulk level, and through OData APIs, right? And which NFA version is supported. So the next one, the next NFA version that's coming up is 10.0. So we'll have some of these capabilities, the drill down ones and the ones that you saw in terms of ability to look at hierarchical views. So those are available in NFA 10.0. 10.0 that's going live soon.
Okay, I think we are gonna wrap up the session if there is no more. So another one. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
as I said, the availability of the next, release of our suite of products is in this quarter. And, I don't have the luxury to provide you with exact dates at this point, but it's in this quarter.
Mhm.
So the entire suite of products from NetOps, we're going out, everything is going to be released at the same time from a GA perspective. Okay.
Okay. If there is no more question, I think we can wrap up the session. Thank you again, Amy. Thank you, Chas, and thank you to all of our attendees today. Thank you for taking time out of your day to learn more about AIOps products. I wish you all a great day. Thank you and bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Octave. Thank you, Chess.